Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Before we start with our today's practice questions, we have an important announcement. As part of knowledge series, we have been helping you with the static part. To further help you in this particular initiative, what we have come up is with the schedule. So the following topics for the next few days would be urban floods, right to equality, Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, partition of Bengal and Swadeshi movement, El Nino and La Nina, Indra Savni case, Lokpal, police reforms, Montreal Protocol. So please do tune in on our YouTube channel live every day at 10 a.m. as well as 3 p.m. Let's get started and look into the first question. Consider the following statements with respect to the GST Council. GST Council is a joint forum of the center and the states that was set up by the President as per Article 279A of 1 of the amended Constitution. Recommendations of the GST Council are binding on the Union and the states. Article 246A confers simultaneous or concurrent powers on Parliament and the state legislatures to make laws relating to GST. How many of the given statements are incorrect? This question is asking how many statements are incorrect. So the answer to this would be one statement only. So out of the three statements that we have, it is one statement which is wrong. So which is why the answer to this would be one statement only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to the goods and the services tax. Let us try and understand what are these options. When we look into the first option, it says GST Council is a joint forum of the center and the states that was set up by the President as per Article 279A of 1 of the amended Constitution. This is the right statement. When you look into the second statement, recommendations of the GST Council are binding on the Union and states. This is a wrong statement. We have the Supreme Court of India, which has recently pointed out that the nature of the GST Council decisions are only recommendatory and not mandatory. And as a result, the court said that the legislature is indeed the final authority where tax proposals need to be ratified, and the GST Council cannot assume the legislative authority. So the Supreme Court verdict that the state legislature can make their own laws in relation to the GST imposed by the union or the state is only a validation of Article 246A of 1 of the Constitution. So remember, the second statement is incorrect, which is why one statement only is incorrect, and the answer to this would be A. Now let's look into the next practice question. Hermit, recently seen in news, is cyber espionage group, malware, spyware, private search engine. The answer to this is it happens to be a spyware. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to this spyware Hermit. What is this Hermit all about? This happens to be a sophisticated spyware. This is believed to have targeted the iPhones. Most of y'all who feel that iPhones are secure, here is a myth. So you have the Hermit, which happens to be a sophisticated spyware which is believed to have targeted iPhones and Android devices in Italy as well as in Kazakhstan. So what is this spyware? This happens to be on the similar lines of Pegasus by the NSO group. Once it is installed on that particular device, it can record the audio on the device. It may be able to carry out unauthorized calls as well, and it will carry out many unauthorized activities as well. The spyware would also upload files from the device, read notifications, and even take the pictures of the screen as well. So remember, Hermit happens to be a spyware, and this can be very important from the preliminary examination point of view. Now let's look into the next practice question. How many of the following are the e-governance initiatives of the Government of India? Padma, Pragati, E-Kranti, Darpan. The answer to this is all four. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Hindu makes a reference to Padma, which happens to be a centralized space system for the Indian Coastal Guard, which was launched recently. So what is this Padma? This happens to be an automated platform which leverages latest technology, which will provide seamless and timely dispersal of pay and allowances to around 15,000 Indian Coast Guard personnel. This module has been developed under the aegis of Defence Accounts Department and will be operated by Pay Accounts Office, Coast Guard, Noida. The launch marked the beginning of the centralized pay system, the foundation which is being laid by the Defence Accounts Department headquarters to provide one-stop pay solution to the organizations under the ministry. Then we also have Pragati as well. Pragati happens to be an information and communication technology platform existing in the Prime Minister's office, which reviews, monitors various government projects across the country, and it stands for proactive governance and timely implementation. Then what we have is the e-Kranti, and this happens to be electronic delivery of service, which is an essential pillar of the Digital India initiative, considering the critical need for the e-governance, mobile governance, good governance in the country. Mission e-Kranti will ensure a government-wide transformation by delivering all government services electronically to the citizens. Finally, what we have is Darpan, and this happens to be a dashboard for analytical review of projects across the nation, transform complex government data into the compelling visuals. So all the four initiatives of the Government of India falls under the domain of e-governance initiatives. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the given statements with respect to Ekalavya model residential schools are correct? It is a scheme for model residential schools for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes across India. These are set up by the grants provided under Article 275 of 1 of the Constitution. The scheme is being implemented by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 2 and 3 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to Ekalavya model residential schools. Let us try and understand what are these options. When we look into the first option is wrong. Why is it wrong? That is because according to this scheme, the model residential scheme is exclusively for the scheduled tribes across India, and it is not to do with the scheduled caste. So this is only for the scheduled tribes and not for the scheduled caste. So the first statement is wrong. When we look into the second statement, these are set up by the grants provided under Article 275 of 1 of the Constitution. Yes, this is right. And when you look into the third statement, yes, this scheme is implemented by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Since second and the third statement are right, the first statement is wrong. The answer to this would be 2 and 3 only. Now let's look into the next practice question. With reference to the cultural history of India, the memorizing of chronicles, dynastic histories, and epic tales was the profession of which of the following? Shramana, Parivraj, Agraharika, Magadha. The answer to this is Magadha. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2016. When it comes to Sharmana, this is related to Jainism. It basically means one who is seeking, so the seeker, one who performs acts of austerity. Then we have Parivraj, which means one who roams about all around the place. Then we have Agraharika, which is related to land grants given to the Brahmin, one who looks after the lands given in charity. Then finally what we have is Magadha, which is associated with memorizing of chronicles, dynastic histories as well as the epic tales. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is Deputy Chief Minister. We have the Chief Minister, which is a constitutional office. We have the Governor, which is a constitutional office. We have the Council of Ministers, which is a constitutional office. Is there a mention of Deputy Chief Minister? Is the Deputy Chief Minister an office mentioned under the Constitution of India? The answer to this is clearly no. The political parties often adopt this particular practice of appointing the Deputy Chief Minister basically to appease a certain section of the people. They want to pacify the political needs. They have to appease certain religion or the caste group, or in fact if coalition partners have come together in order to make sure that all the partners are treated in a similar manner, what they create is a position called as the Deputy Chief Minister. So remember, the Deputy Chief Minister is not a constitutional office, but instead it is a position created for the political exigencies. What does a deputy chief minister mean in a state government? So when we speak about the chief minister, he has a unique position when it comes to the state governments. It happens to be a constitutional office, but when it comes to the deputy chief minister, his role is similar to that of the cabinet ministers. He is equivalent to the rank of a cabinet minister, enjoys the pay and perks similar to that of the cabinet ministers, where the cabinet ministers get certain tax-free pay, they also get the perks as well. So whatever the cabinet minister is getting, he may get a similar provision as well. So he is not equated to the chief minister. He is not a constitutional office, but he is equivalent to that of a cabinet minister. So because there are political exigencies in that state, which is why we have the deputy chief minister, which is given this role as per state and the politics in that state. So as the name suggests, it is the deputy chief minister. So even among the cabinet members, what we have is this person who is holding second in the hierarchy. So the first happens to be the chief minister. So in terms of power and the aura, this person will be second in the list. So even amongst the cabinet members, this person to a limited extent stands above the cabinet ministers, but there is no constitutional position recognizing this. Are there any special financial powers that lie with the deputy chief minister? No. The deputy chief minister does not have any special powers or any financial powers. What it means is that if there is a deputy chief minister, the deputy chief minister will only be given a portfolio. It can be a ministry as well. So any ministry which is accorded to that person, such powers will be given to the deputy chief minister. So if the portfolio is home ministry, all the powers of the home minister will be given to the deputy chief minister. If it is to do with urban planning, all the powers that is to do with the urban planning will be given to the deputy chief minister. So basically the deputy chief minister is similar to that of the cabinet ministers. Does it mean that all the official files that go to the chief minister will automatically go to the deputy chief minister? No, there is no such saying. All the files that go to the chief minister will only go to the chief minister. In fact, it can be vice versa. So the files that go to the deputy chief minister can also go to the chief minister as well. So does he have any special powers? No. He is equivalent to that of the cabinet minister, only that he falls second in hierarchy immediately after the chief minister according to the convention. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this role called as the deputy chief minister. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.